welcome to How to Deal When the Shit Gets Real podcast. I'm Marietta.
And I'm Connie. And today we're back with Jess because she really wanted to do an amazing episode all about motherhood, inventing about motherhood, and we're here for that. So shut up and eat your fruit snacks and calm down. Or whatever you said.
Yes. Eat your fruit snacks and calm down.
I mean, shut up kind of sometimes. I think that.
Yeah, your
I
internal voice.
I think it, though.
Oh, 1000%.
You should write a book that should be the title. Everybody would pick it up.
Oh my God.
Do you know there's actually a book called Toddlers Are Assholes?
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no. It's pretty good, too. It'll make you feel validated in some of the things you see. Yep.
I used to follow this page on Instagram. I think it was called like Asshole Parenting or something like that, but it was like a pun because like it was like, this is my child having a meltdown because I said they couldn't wear their bathing suit to school. So it was just like the absolute ridiculous meltdowns that toddlers have, and it was hilarious. I don't even know if it still exists, but it should.
Oh no. Actually, now people on Instagram, like famous people, they're getting famous by saying like the 5 reasons my toddler got upset with me today because I gave them the blue cup that they asked for. In reality, I should have known that the blue cup meant the pink cup. Like it's like shit like that. It's like insane stuff because I told her not to wipe poop on her brother. Like it's crazy crap. Now
it is crazy stuff.
People are getting insta famous just saying the random stuff toddlers say, basically, or say no to.
I don't know how some moms did it before Instagram. I'm not big on social media, but I love Instagram because I follow so many moms that are just absolutely hysterical. And I feel like our generation is lucky because we aren't alone. And there's more of so many online outlets out there. Exactly. So much of a community. And a lot of parents now just absolutely keep it real. Even the dads. High five to the dads on Instagram because there are some funny guys. Like, absolutely. Oh yeah, my toddler completely destroyed. There was one, it was like, oh yeah, you just cleaned up the toy room. And then it was a scene from The Shining or Children of the Corn or something. And I always think these kids creeping back into your toy room to destroy your life. Like, oh, I've never felt more seen.
Wait, is that like is his handle like the dad, the father or something, like, or like dad father or something? Yeah, he does. Like they are all on point because it's always like a saying about the kid and then like a video from a movie, and you're just like, that goes so fucking well. It is just, you are on point, my friend, to a T.
Gosh. All right, let's talk postpartum. First baby, postpartum.
Yes, let's talk postpartum because we don't talk about it.
No, and this is one thing I feel like toddlerism is less of a taboo. We just all know that our life is absolute chaos in a zoo and people just need to deal with that. But I don't think new moms are prepared for what they're getting themselves into. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. One of my best friends said, if moms knew what they were getting into, our species would go extinct. I was like,
probably.
The procreation would be done. Birth control sales would be way up.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I think what got me more is like, I thought I was prepared. I read the book. Like, I read books for, like, raising a baby, like, getting them to sleep, all the things that you need to do. Read it. Did it all. Super prepared for that. Yet, one day I'm home alone, before my mom even got to my house at 8 a.m. to help me, I already had, like, a mental breakdown, and that was day 2, and I was like, I'm not a good parent, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, and that was like day 2. And I'm like, in reality, what it makes me think of are these memes where it's like, they just let you go home from the hospital with a baby and you have no clue what the fuck you're doing. And I was like, yes. Like, I didn't realize it until I was there, but holy shit. And I mean, I wasn't thinking that in the moment, but I was certainly thinking about it after that because I was having a full mental breakdown 2 days into being a mom.
Yep. I remember them. You know how they make you sit in a wheelchair whenever they wheel you out of the hospital? There was this
Yes.
poor, like, 17-year-old volunteer there, probably doing community service. He's like, all right, I'm ready to take you out. I have a car seat on my lap. I am sobbing because who in their right mind thinks that I can handle a small child? My boobs are
Yes.
bleeding. I'm wearing a diaper. My husband's pissed me off because, God bless, I love my husband. I shouldn't say that. He is ready to go home. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I am sobbing all the way down from labor and delivery. And this poor guy says, most people want a picture of this moment. I'm like, okay.
Bless
That's
his heart.
hilarious.
So we got a picture and it was totally like Instagram worthy. But if you look really close, I have like tear streaks running down my face.
And you know
Because
what?
I had no idea what I was doing.
And people from the outside are probably thinking, oh, what a beautiful moment. Look at, she's so happy. Like, people probably think it's happy tears from seeing this baby you created. In reality, you're thinking, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck?
See, the harder thing for me with postpartum was nobody told me any of the things. Nobody told me that when I was going to get up in the hospital room to go potty with my father in there, I was going to bleed all over the floor and be super fucking embarrassed. Nobody told me that it was going to hurt to sit. Nobody told me about the granny panty undies, which God bless them because they're amazing.
Yes, they are.
And I stole a bunch from the hospital because they were the only thing worthy of keeping me comfortable.
Those
Nobody
ice
tells you that
packs.
your nipples fucking hurt all the time. Nobody tells you that, like, any of this shit that I'm like, why does nobody talk about this? Like, it's horrible. Nobody tells you that, like, I found out on my own that witch's hazel was a godsend. Like, I still use witch's hazel for everything. Like, I still remember a moment of getting a pad and putting it down yonder and literally going, because it felt so good.
Actually, I bought, because I'm a psychopath, before I had the baby, I bought a pack of, like, basically pad icicles. Like, that they use in the hospital, where you just put them in, and you crack them, and you shake them, just like if you were in high school. But they're made
but
for
nobody tells you
down
that.
there. Yeah,
Nobody tells you have to ice your pussy when you're done. Nobody tells you that.
Because it is a beautiful moment in your life.
So
it's beautiful.
I mean, it is. I mean,
it
is. But there's also a cloud.
It's equal parts. It's equal parts amazing and equal parts horrible. Because, I mean, those first 2 weeks where you're just learning the baby and how to do being a mother are fucking difficult. I could not believe that on my second day home from the hospital, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law were like, you're so natural. And I looked at him like, the fuck? I was like, oh, okay, I have no clue what I'm doing, but thanks. And I was like super honest, and they were like, really? You look super confident. I'm like, thank you. No, I have no clue. I'm thinking,
Jess,
is
I
this
don't know how
okay
you
in my
do
head?
It. Jess, I don't know how you do it with two. I had one and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Girl, my house is a zoo. A absolute train wreck at all times. If you go into my kitchen right now, I have a bottle of ranch that's spilt on the floor, a half-empty chocolate milk, because I got McDonald's tonight because I was too lazy to cook. And I'm pretty sure my dog is probably eating what is left of the dinner in there. So
I mean, at least you have the dog vacuum. So
I do.
You know.
I do. I was thinking
you
about
have
today.
The dog vacuum?
Yeah, the dog.
My dog's in there cleaning the floor.
Oh, yes.
He cleans the floor.
Like, I
gotta have one.
I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
I was really trying to think of like,
huh? But like in reality, like honestly, that was probably classic mom brain, because like my dog does the same thing. He is sitting at Theo's side no matter where he is and getting fucking treats from Theo. And Theo's new thing is to let me throw the treats for the dog, because that's fucking hilarious. He throws a treat badly, mind you. Half the time it's behind him and not in front of him. And then Flynn goes and runs and gets it and he laughs. And it's so funny. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, because I have a dog vacuum.
Dog vacuums are the best.
Jesus.
I was thinking about like, so new moms, how do we better prepare them for what it's like? And I just don't think we can. I was trying to like put it into words today, and the only way I can describe it is the only time in your life that you're going to celebrate and grieve at the exact same
Oh yeah.
time. You are going to celebrate this new life, this baby that you've waited 10 months to hold and to love and to cuddle. But I think at times the grief almost overcomes that joy. The grief of I can't sleep anymore. I am no longer about me. I can't nap anymore. I can't go anywhere anymore. And you get very secluded.
Yes.
But again, how do you try to prepare new moms for that without scaring them away? Because you don't want to scare them and take away their joy of pregnancy, because being pregnant is fun. Sometimes.
No.
Sometimes it super sucks.
No. Yeah, no.
Did you have a terrible pregnancy?
I had a terrible
Yet I
pregnancy.
did. I was fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm doing
So,
it again.
to both of you guys.
I puked the whole time. I mean, that was about the worst
Yes.
it got. I just puked. I would literally puke as soon as I got off the helicopter, every single time. Like, I had different hospitals. I had puke spots. Some people go hide to smoke. I went to hide to puke.
You poor thing.
Every time.
Yeah, see, at least I wasn't working. So there's at least that. But no.
I don't understand. Wait, Jess, how did you do it when you had a second one? Because I still don't understand how to do that. Because I'm like, I love the idea of a second kid, but I do not understand how the math works with toddler and being pregnant. Because all I wanted to do when I was pregnant is lay down.
Honestly, you just do it. It's so weird with your second pregnancy because it's less worrisome. I feel like in your first pregnancy, you're so focused on what will happen if something goes wrong. You know, can I do this? Can I do that? The second pregnancy, you don't have a freaking choice. You have a toddler to chase. You got to feed them. You got to keep them going and kind of keep everything going in general. But when the second one's born, I call it second child syndrome. Eleanor could sit in her bouncer for hours and not even make a peep because I was chasing her brother. She just lay there, happy as a clam. No problem. So it does. I'll tell you what, my mom, because she stayed with me for the first 2 weeks. And there was a time I said, Mom, you need to go. And she was appalled. I was like, no, not like that. I need to rip off this Band-Aid of having both at the same time by myself because it was giving me such anxiety. I'm like, well, what if Brooks falls off the stairs? Or what if Eleanor poops everywhere? I don't know. And it happened.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But you figure it out. And I tell myself every day will get easier because they get older. But now that Eleanor is mobile, I'm regressing. It was much easier when she just laid there.
Oh,
and now she's in
definitely.
everything. And Brooks, I am preparing you to now. Connie, your first is going to be so hard on your second, and they're just going to laugh. Like, Brooks is so rough with Eleanor, and the rougher he is, the harder she laughs. I cannot discipline a small child when he smacks his sister's head up against the window and she's just giggling like a
laughing.
toy.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, like, you're hurting Sissy. No, I'm not. Okay, you mean you're probably right.
I mean, clearly not. Clearly she's cool with it. She's like, this is great, Mom.
Yeah, well, I just had my head bashed through a window, but I'm good.
And honestly, Theo is already, like, I'm not saying that he's aggressive, but he already thinks pain is funny because he will bite me. I will say ow and be like, oh, you hurt mommy, like trying to get him to understand that you've hurt me by biting me. And he just fucking laughs. He's just like, and I'm like, that's nothing. No, nothing. He's just there smiling. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, man.
See, Jackson, I don't know if it's because he never had anybody to, like, I mean, he had the dogs. So, but he was never like that kid that just randomly, like, ran up to somebody and smacked him and ran away. Like, he's just not that kid. He's very, like, I have my toys and I'm happy.
Are you telling us that this gets better?
I mean, yes. I mean,
3 was terrible. Jackson?
3 was terrible. I know everybody says terrible 2s. That's bullshit. It's 3.
No, 3 is worse. 3 has, for us at least, has been 10 times worse than 2s.
3 was absolutely worse, and I swear to God, the day he turned 4, it was like a light switch. Like, the day he turned 4. Just, okay, I'm good now. Yes, I would
That's
say that it gets
hilarious.
better. It gets challenging in different ways. Jackson's 11. So, it's challenging in different ways because then they, like, lie to you because all kids have to test the waters. Let's be real. Like, did you brush your teeth? Yeah, of course I did. Then why does your breath still stink? Okay, I didn't. Go brush your freaking teeth. It's gross, dude. Nobody's going to want to talk to you.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
So it's challenging in different ways.
That's what my mom says. She says every age is different or is challenging, but in a different way.
Yes, absolutely.
I can see that. All I know, yeah, the 2s, they're just, it's almost like they're to the point of chaos where you just don't care. It's like, all right,
Mhm.
what can you do to me now? I mean,
Yeah.
Like,
They're like
I
tiny
feel like-
tornadoes. They just destroy everything. And you just have to clean up. And then as they get older, it just becomes a different type of tornado or a different type of storm.
Well, and for me, it's like, okay, what is your acceptable tornado? You know what I mean? Because like okay, so he could get into all of these drawers, and the locks that we had would not fit on these drawers. But I would just like let him in, but only in on the bottom drawer because that was his shit anyway. If you want to throw it around the fucking kitchen, go right ahead. You can't get it. I won't let you get into these upper drawers because they have stuff in them that I don't want you to be able to get into because it's regular cooking supplies. But it's like, if you want to bang around your sippy cups, go for it, my friend. I accept that you're just going to go into that drawer and cause havoc.
Yeah.
Fine.
What's the craziest thing your kiddos have ever done, Jess, that you're just like, oh my God, why?
My son climbed over the gate the other day. We have a fenced-in backyard, and he was gone. Just absolutely gone. I was literally on the porch hanging out with Eleanor, and I didn't hear him. I was like, where is he? Thank God my neighbor brought my child back. So I don't know if it's the worst or the most mortifying. He literally made it to my neighbor's house in about less than like 10 seconds. So I felt so guilty. And if you want to talk about mom guilt, it never ends, no matter what.
Nope.
I felt horrible. I was like, well, my neighbor, she has 3 boys, so she totally gets it. Thank goodness. There was also the same neighbor. God bless Judy. She's amazing. We were potty training Brooks, and Eleanor was just born because why don't you want to potty train with a brand new baby? And so
Brilliant.
we did potty training naked. I was like, yeah, just go naked, kid. So she and her whole family brought over a baby gift for Eleanor, and Brooks's naked wang is just hanging out in our bay window in the front.
My God.
And I was like, oh, sweet Jesus. I'm like, thanks for the presents, family. I was like, goodness gracious, put it away.
That's how my mom potty trained me. Was she had me? But yeah, because you see where it comes from. That was her theory. Like, they're naked, they see where it comes from. So my mom did that to me.
That's what I tell people. I mean, if you're potty trained, just freaking let them go naked. They'll figure it out. Brooks probably had it figured out in 3 days.
Yeah, that's what my mom did. She didn't have us go naked, but it was like, I stayed home with you for like, this is what she told me, that she stayed home with us for 3 days, consistently like putting us on the potty. And like, this is what you do. You go potty, blah, blah, blah. And she said it was done. There were no overnight like underwear, nothing. It was a Band-Aid. You ripped off the diaper, you trained them in 3 days, and that's that. And if they had an accident, they needed to know that that was an accident and not have the backup of the pull-up.
Yeah.
Well, plus, you know when they're ready. Like, we knew when Jackson was ready. And then something that worked for us that I've heard from a lot of boy moms that works is we put him on the potty backwards so that he could see. Because if they sit forward, the boys can't see. So we put him on the potty backwards. And he was getting ready to transition classrooms in the CDC, which is the daycare for the military, not the CDC like you guys are thinking. That's what the military calls their daycare, just to clarify.
I sent him to the Ebola encampment.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But they told him if he wanted to transition, because he wanted to go into the big boy and girl classroom, that he had to be potty trained. And that was enough for him. He's like, yep, I got this.
Oh my
Well, all
gosh.
right.
So what's the craziest thing your kids have done?
Jackson almost drowned in Hawaii, which you want to talk about mom guilt. I bawled for like 2 days. They were playing on the sand. There was 3 moms there. It's not like the boys and girls were alone. Like, they were playing on the sand. They decided to get in the water, and you know how the ocean goes.
Yep.
Before he
second.
knew it, he was out too far. But luckily, there was 2 older boys on, what do you call them? The boards that you like kind
Boogie
of surf on,
boards.
but not really. Boogie boards. There you go. They were on boogie boards, and they grabbed him and brought him in. But like, I've never been so horrified in my entire life. And if those boys weren't out there, I don't know what would have happened. But I was a mess for a long time. And you talk about mom guilt right there. So that was, I mean, he wasn't even necessarily doing anything wrong. He's young and he didn't think about the dangers of the ocean and how quickly things could change. And it's rough around Hawaii. So it was, Kyle was on duty and I was like, you need to come home right now. I don't care if it's not for a short period of time, but I'm going to break down and I need you to come home right now.
That would be mortifying for me too. And yeah, the mom guilt, there's no escaping. Shoot, I don't give my kid what he wants for dinner and I have mom guilt. I can take them to the park, to lunch. I can take them for ice cream. I can check all the mom boxes and I'm still going to feel bad.
Yep.
Doesn't
I did
matter.
take him to the fire department later, just for anybody that ever deals with any of this, because you do worry about dry drowning. So I took him to the wonderful fire departments, like paramedics that were on the base, and was like, this is what happened today. Can you guys check him? And like 14 people came out. It was like the greatest thing ever. They were like, I mean, COVID was happening too at this time, but they all came out with their masks on. They let him get into the fire truck. Like, that was like the best part of the whole thing.
And that's what he's going to remember. He's not going to remember almost drowning. He's going to remember the fire truck he saw, and we're going to lose sleep for the next 30 years.
He has his moments. Like, occasionally he'll remember, like, he got invited to the pool over the summer, and he's like, I can't go. What if I can't touch? I'm like, first of all, it's a pool.
You're going to be able to
undertow.
touch.
There's no tide. There's no that. And pools, 99% of the time, have a place where you can touch. So just hang out in the shallow section, and as you get comfortable, then mess around. Like, he took swim lessons. He knows how to swim. But so he has his moments. But yeah, not like we do. I'm going to hold that until I die.
Yep. Connie, what about you?
Okay, well, I've already done the stupidest thing and have the most mom guilt because of it. I was cooking dinner and he's sat at my feet while cooking a million times before, but my hand got burned and like I had a pot in my hand, and so he ended up with a burn on his leg. And we went, and I actually ended up at the ICU because he's so little. I mean, this only happened a couple of weeks ago. Because he's only like basically a year, 15 months, they're more concerned with like him spiking a fever because getting burned. Like, there was really nothing wrong with him. They scrubbed him, they gave him medicine. It looks basically like a bad sunburn, and that's about it. But like, because he's small, they worry about like fever and other things going wrong, that we had to be at the ICU, and they didn't have any room for us at the burn unit. But yeah, it sucked. And then DCFS was called on me because of that. But that was because of a hospital's unknown knowledge of burns. They basically saw it, said, I have no fucking clue. We're gonna send you to Loyola. Oh, and here's a parting gift. We have to report you to DCFS because we don't know how he got burned. Because they don't have any knowledge. Which, I mean, I understand. It really fucking sucked because Loyola kept on saying, hey, man, if you guys would have just came to Loyola first, we would have never called DCFS on you, because they bring the social worker to talk to you. You work with the pediatrics department. You work with the burn department. And like, you talk to all of these people. And it's like kind of like a collective decision. And like, they basically like keep on asking you, what happened? And as long as like your story makes sense, it's fucking fine. But they were like, well, these people at this other hospital have no knowledge of burns, 1. 2, they don't have social workers. They just have your nurses and doctors. And since they don't know what happened, they don't really understand burns, they're automatically going to report you. And it's a knowledge problem, and it's a fucking problem. Like, they were telling me that they're starting to work with the Bolingbrook hospital, because what happens is that they report all these people, then hand them off to Loyola, and then you're stuck in Loyola for an extra day almost.
Yeah, no,
because
thank
they've
you.
called DCFS on you. Yeah, we could have been discharged. Like, we went to the hospital right after it happened. We got to Loyola at 10 p.m. We could have been discharged at 10 a.m. if not for the fact that they called DCFS. Because they called DCFS, we didn't get home until 6 p.m. because
Yikes.
they had to talk to all of these people, and they even talked to people we never even met or saw. Yeah, it was insanity.
Yeah,
That's
no.
what the insane part is. And it backs Loyola up, because you've reported people that really truly needed to be reported because you don't have the knowledge.
Yeah, it also exhausts the system, which is an already exhausted system.
Exactly.
Like, they already struggle with all that.
And you're
And the
backing
mental
up Loyola.
load on you as the mother?
Yes,
I mean,
it was. I had to hold down my child multiple times. It was awful.
Just the
It was
psychological
just awful.
trauma.
Yeah.
That just
I'll never
blows
forget
my
it.
mind.
Theo won't ever remember this, but I will never forget what I did.
Like we talked about, all mom guilt, we live with it forever, and the kids just go on their merry way, which, I mean, is good. We don't want them to
I don't
be
want
scarred
him to
for
remember
life.
this ever. But I mean, I'll always remember having to hold him down while they, like,
Yeah.
I mean, while they had to wash, because it's basically a wound. They have to wash it.
Yeah, they have
and
to
then
wash it.
and they have to apply this, like, silver nitrate stuff is what they
Mhm.
apply to it, and it was totally
Yep, Jess
fine.
knows. She's our nurse.
Yeah, you know, duh. But also, they scared the shit out of us at Bolingbrook Hospital. They were talking about how he was going to have permanent nerve damage. And they had no clue. And though the burn doctors that came in from Loyola looked at it for 5 seconds, yeah, he's going to be fine, cleaned it, bandaged it, and he was done. And then by 10 a.m., it was like they had a team, they had their whole burn doctor team, like it was 3 doctors, come in, discuss what needed to be applied to him, took about 5 seconds, asked if I had any other questions, left, and then the nurse showed me at 10 a.m. how to dress the wound. And that was it. And that's
Because
what we had
that's
to
all
do
it
every
is.
morning.
It's
Yes.
a wound.
Yeah.
Yes. And they were they scared us. They said that he might not grow properly at Bolingbrook Hospital. Oh yeah, they like super freaked us out. Also,
Not necessary.
while simultaneously doing absolutely nothing about the wound. They did not touch him. They did not wrap the wound. They did fucking nothing. Bolingbrook Hospital did fucking nothing until Loyola said, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, they're on the phone with them because we're about to be transferred.
Yep.
They're like, you haven't wrapped the wound yet? You need to wrap it in. It was basically like gauze and what is that called? Like the petroleum jelly. It was like gauze
impregnated
dipped in
gauze.
yes. They wrapped it in that, and they didn't do that. We were there for 3 hours. They did nothing.
Gosh. And then
Jess as a nurse is totally mortified right now. Our
They
nurse.
did.
Yeah, I wish my facial expressions could come through because that just blows my mind. But
Yeah, they
I
did
can't.
absolutely fucking nothing.
So you're dealing with an injury, which, let's get real, kids freaking hurt themselves all the time. I have glued Brooksy's chin twice because I'm not taking him to an ER when I have Dermabond at home. But
plus you're a nurse, so
that's the nurse in me. But and then you deal with like the psychological trauma of all that, and that I am so sorry.
Oh, and the fact that my son, like, this is also the reason why we like could not believe Bolingbrook, because we're like, really, we have to go to Loyola? We're like, we don't understand. Like, why can't you treat him here? And that's when they started like being super scary. The reason why we couldn't understand is because Theo was walking around having a good old time. He was like, bah, 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 like nothing fucking happened. So we were like,
Yep.
we can't go
Sounds
and see
about
them
right
in
for the kids.
outpatient tomorrow. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And we were like, wait, you're telling, like, because they were like, oh well, there's two options. You know, you could go to outpatient and like get an appointment another day, or you have to go for ICU. And they basically were like, no, you have to go to the ICU. You can't go for outpatient. This is too serious. And I
That's
don't
when you
know
just
if
take control and say, fuck you, I'm out. I'm doing what I want.
yeah, except
Yeah,
for
let
that
that mama bear kick in.
Heck yeah.
except for that, they already called DCFS, and that would have made it worse because it would have made it look like I'm not a caring mother and I'm not willing to give him treatment.
Trust
I
me,
feel like
we
you say
already
the
feel that
opposite.
way.
Yeah, no kidding.
We don't need an outside source to tell us that we're not a caring mother because we go to bed every night thinking that, despite
Yeah,
our
really.
best efforts every single day.
Yeah. So speaking of that, Jess, what are some of like the top things like that you want to share and like talk about with motherhood that you feel like we said that other moms need to know without totally sending them running for the hills?
It's okay to not be happy whenever you have a baby. It's okay to not bond. I did not bond. I could have sold him on eBay till 6 months. And I will say that and people will be mortified. I did not bond with Brooks for a very long time. So bonding doesn't happen naturally. Breastfeeding sucks.
Yes.
I tried
sucks.
formula fucking rocks. If your boobs are broke, get the Enfamil. And if you need someone to give you permission, please take my phone number and I will be the one that you can call in the middle of the night to say, yes, it's okay.
Oh yeah.
Sleep happens again. I promise.
Oh yeah.
Know your people. Know who you can go to. And you don't want to go to people like where you have to do your hair and makeup and stuff. You want to go to someone that will just hear you out. And one of the best pieces of advice is if you're visiting a new mom, don't give them choices. You are going to make them dinner. You are going to clean your house and you are going to take that baby for 2 hours. Because I feel like I'm a people pleaser. I'm never going to let you do any of that for me. Because people are like, what can we do for you? Oh, Starbucks. Like, you'll say something small and they'll bring you like a salsa package. I don't know. The friend who made the biggest impact, she pretty much told me to shut up, go to my room, and do not come out for 2 hours. And she was setting a timer.
That was
There you
my
go.
mom. I had a real big problem with like, I guess it's because it's in my nature to always be like the host. What do you need? How can I help you? And none of my friends have ever had babies. So they don't understand that they should be saying, no, I've got the baby. You go sleep. So I was like, oh yeah, come over, bring dinner. Sounds great. And let me sit up and chit chat with you with my baby, even though I'm fucking tired. And in
do
reality,
the dishes.
Yeah. And in reality, it should have been, I'm going to bring you over dinner. I'm going to take care of the baby for a little while and you go sleep.
Yep.
Even still, people with have a brain know that you need help. I don't care if you have children or not. And as somebody who didn't have an option for having help because I didn't live near anybody, I lived in a state that I didn't really know anybody. I didn't have my mom. I didn't have my dad. I didn't have anybody in my family. Take the fucking help if you have it nearby because I would have paid millions to have one person that I could count on regularly.
Yep.
So then what did you do,
that's
Rihanna,
biggest.
to get help?
I didn't do anything. I took care of my kid. Eventually, I went back to work, so that was what helped me because I went back to work when he was a little over 1. So that's when he went to the CDC, which is Child Development Center, just for anybody wondering what it did mean. So then I did have help, but I had to pay for it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, do we want to mention that? How expensive daycare is?
Yep. That's why my son is not in daycare.
Stupid expensive.
Still working.
That is why I feel like I have a great job and I make decent money. If we had a third kid, it would make more financial responsibility for me to stay home with how much we're paying in daycare. Don't get me wrong, our daycare is amazing. But I can see why parents struggle to make ends meet. Oh, but anyway,
absolutely.
you're going to pay $3,000 a month for daycare, but don't worry, because you're still going to feel like garbage when you send them there because you're not being a mom and you're going to work instead of raising your children. And how dare you?
Also that.
Yes.
Literally, actually, the first lady that hired me was like, she eventually told me, she's like, I wasn't sure if I was going to hire you because you're a new mom and I didn't think you'd want to leave your baby, which first of all is illegal. And second of all, like, really,
Yeah.
really, no, I didn't need you to add on to my mom guilt, but I needed to have myself back, which included having a job.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a psychopath like me who works at home remotely with their child. It's a joy.
God bless you.
Thank you. No, and it's actually, I have to remind my husband that I do as much, if not more, than him because he has such a labor intensive job. But I have to remind him I am doing two things at the same fucking time. All right? Like, that's nice that you have a labor intensive job, and I understand you're working 50 to 80 hours a week, and I appreciate it, I do. But I am also a stay at home mom, and I'm working all at the same time. I'm a work at home mom? What am I? I don't know.
Let's be real though. Moms do a lot more than two things. We do all the things.
That's
We
true.
cook dinner, we grocery shop, we take care of the kids, we do the laundry, we clean the house, we work. I mean, and not saying that husbands don't help because my husband, like Jess said, God bless my husband. I love him to pieces. He's amazing.
Yep.
But I do a lot of the
Yes.
stuff just because I work from home now too. I'm here. My kid is in school now, but everything else still needs to be done.
But also, don't act like just because I'm here working from home that I'm not fucking working. That's what pisses me off. Like, yes, I am very lucky because my son still sleeps 4 hours a day.
Moms in general, moms that aren't
Yes.
even working, that is a job.
Yes.
Being a
Oh,
mom
yeah.
is a job.
A full-time job. We're not talking about no part-time jobs here.
No.
Oh, no.
Absolutely
No, because
not.
until he goes to sleep, all he wants is mama right here, my friend. I will get home from the gym and I will hand him off to Tom to do the bath time and nighttime routine, and he will cry if I am not standing in the room. Because he is tired.
That phase will end too.
And he wants mama. I don't
But
want it
that's
to
another
end.
good point. They do. They go through that phase. Not all kids go through that phase, but a lot of them go through that phase where they go through like the stranger danger, or I only want mom, or I only want dad. And
Not
it's
looking
hard.
forward to the only
Did
want
your kids
dad.
go through that, Jess? Where they like only wanted you or only wanted your husband?
So Brooks was a daddy's boy. I remember crying on Thanksgiving Day in the bedroom because Brooks did not want anything to do with me.
Aww.
He would cry for daddy. He wanted nothing. And then I blamed myself because I didn't breastfeed because my boobs were broke. So I had this huge mental trauma that maybe it's because I didn't let my kids suckle at my nipple, that's why he didn't like me. Like the things you talked yourselves into in that moment. But no, I always said Eleanor's my barnacle. I will keep her as my barnacle. You can't have her. So
Nice.
she's mine. Not trying to get too personal, but how do you guys think your marriages are affected now that you have kids?
I think it actually made us stronger in a lot of ways. Because like you said, my boobs were broken too. I don't even want to say broken because they just weren't designed to, you only have so many mammary glands, which is what aggravated me about a lot of people. Oh, you just got to pump. Oh, you have to take Fenukeek. Oh, you have to do this. None of that shit worked. I tried it all. I bawled my eyes out. I remember it being like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was bawling. Jackson was hungry. And my husband somebody put formula in like one of my baby baskets. And he was like, use this. I can't stand to see you like this. It's not your fault. Give him some formula. He slept the rest of the fucking night. I got some goddamn sleep. I now always put formula, just even if it's just a little bottle, anytime I give a baby gift. And I put a little note in there and say like, please don't take offense, but this is what happened to me. Just in case you need this, here it is. Put it in your cupboard.
Yeah. Store
it
for a little bit.
And it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You'll thank me. I can't tell you the number of moms that were like, I'm so glad I had that little bottle of formula that you stuck in there. I'm like, I know. You're welcome. Yeah. So, but because of that moment, I it was this deep appreciation that he was like, he
Mhm.
saw what was happening and he was like, I can't take this. I can't see my wife like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just feel like a lot of the motherhood guilt is now transforming into spouse guilt because we're exhausted. I mean, I don't come to bed and watch a movie and eat popcorn, and we don't go to lunch and we don't go on dates because we don't really have any family near us either. So the kids get all my time. So when I'm not feeling guilty about that, I'm feeling guilty that the second my head hits the pillow at 8:30, I am sawing logs.
And see, for me, it's like my husband just works so fucking much.
Mhm.
It just is. But he wants to. He's like, I'm doing it for you guys. Theo's not like, I'm around enough, and Theo is not old enough to remember. Like, I'm not missing a baseball game. I'm not missing, like,
Mhm.
him going and, like, doing stuff. I still get to see him. But, like, I would rather work hard right now, make us some more money, move up within the company. And then so when he's older, I can go to every baseball game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which
It's
to me
definitely
makes
easier
sense.
when they're younger. Or I should say that backwards. It's easier as they get older because when they're younger, you're right. You're exhausted. You're lucky if
Mhm.
you can put your clothes on the right way.
Yeah.
Now that Jackson's older, he's very self-sufficient. He spends most of his time playing video games. I'm lucky he knows that I exist. So Kyle and I can sit and watch a movie or go out to eat because pretty soon he's going to be old enough that he can stay home by himself.
Yeah.
So it does get better, but you're right. When they're younger, it is harder because you're tired. They're waking
Mhm.
you up in the middle of the night. They're attached to you. Like it's
Literally.
you said it perfectly. It's like having a barnacle just sucking the life out of you,
Mhm.
or a leech, a cute leech.
Yep. A leash that you love. And I think one of the biggest points we can put across is that no matter how hard it is, you love these little assholes and you would do anything for them. And when you're not around them, you sit there and scroll pictures on your phone of how cute they
Oh
are
my
and how
God, I
you
did
miss
that
them
last
and you want to
night.
go crawl into bed with them. Like I said, it's the only time in life where you're going to celebrate and grieve all at the same time. And I don't think
Oh
that
yeah.
feeling goes away.
And
Like
it
right
comes in
now,
waves.
yes.
Because
Yep.
some days it'll be like totally fine. Everything is awesome. And then the next day it's like crushing hell.
Yep. And you
And
go to
it's
bed
out of the
crying.
blue and
Yeah.
it's mostly out of the blue.
What were you going to
Or
say,
you're
Jess?
just
What
crying
about
all
right
day,
now?
honestly.
I don't even remember. See, mom brain. By the way, mom brain doesn't go away. I know there's a couple
Yeah.
studies out there that as soon as
Correct.
you have mom, and it's real. Mom brain is
Mhm.
real. It is
And,
pregnancy brain that turns into mom brain and it never goes away.
and you want to know why? Because I read a thing of why that actually happens, Jess. You'll
Because
find
our
it
brain
interesting.
shrinks.
Our brain adapts to being able to take care of a little one. Our chemistry in our brain completely and totally changes from when we have a baby, so that all of our instincts turn to the baby, so we forget like the smaller things because our mind chemistry has changed.
There you go.
Literally has
It
changed.
makes sense.
It does
Yeah.
make sense.
So it's
So-
chemistry. So when I forget to put on
Yes.
pants and walk out to my car in my underoos, I'm just
Yes.
gonna say it's chemistry.
Yes, exactly.
I like it. We should get T-shirts made. It's chemistry.
It's chemistry.
Yes!
With a little person in a dress and just underwear outside in her car. Like, what the hell's going on?
I have
'Cause that would be
I
funny.
have done it. I've almost taken a flight in Crocs because I forgot to put on my boots. It's just mom brain is so real.
Yes.
Also, going back, because I had a thought, and obviously anybody take this with a grain of salt, because I get everybody's different. I think one thing that maybe helped my marriage when he was younger, even when it was harder, is he always slept in his own bed.
Oh,
Always.
yes.
I never
Mhm.
shared a bed
Same.
with him, mainly out of fear, because my father's a police officer, and he literally responded to a scene where a dad rolled over and
Mhm.
the baby gone. So
Mhm.
mainly it was out of fear, but my pediatrician literally high-fived me. She was like, "Good for you, mama." Him always having his own room just kind of set the precedence that like
Mhm.
mommy and daddy's bed is for mommy and daddy and your bed is for you. And I personally think that made a big difference, because then like
And
if you have a baby in your bed, you ain't getting frisky. Like, I'm sorry, just
No.
it's not happening. So
No.
I mean, it cuts off that ability. So if you've never, I mean, of course, things happen. Like if a storm happens, you might be that mom. I
Yeah.
was never that mom. My mom told me to
Yes.
sleep on the floor when it stormed, so I was never even allowed in the bed. But
Yep.
that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it.
Actually, so kind of a funny story about like them sleeping in your bed or even I'd never even okay, so what we did was we technically like shared a room. We had a bassinet in the bedroom and I fucking hated it.
Mhm.
I hated it. I loathed it. He could hear me, he could smell me, but he couldn't see or feel me. So he would wake up all the fucking time. And it pissed me off to no fucking end that
Because
I
you're
told...
already tired.
Well, no. This is what pissed me off. It's not because I was already tired, Jess. It was because I told my father-in-law, who was remaking the crib he built for my husband. He built a crib for his sons. He was remaking it, sanding it down, restaining it for Theo. Great. Absolutely love it. I gave you 10 fucking months. I still had no fucking crib. I was beyond fucking pissed. I told him I have to have the crib by month 2. Like, I think I had Tom text him by week 1 that I needed to have that crib by week 4. Because I was so done and he needed his room and he needed a crib in his room. This bassinet wasn't cutting it. The the camera, because it was like a mesh bassinet, you couldn't see in the bassinet. And like I think he just didn't like it because it was kind of on like a very slight tilt.
Mhm.
And it freaked me out to have it, for whatever reason. It freaked me out to have it in the nursery. So I was like, you need to give me that fucking crib. Like, I was at my wit's end because I was like, he needs his own space. He needs the freaking crib. I am done with this. This is why he's not sleeping at night.
No.
Yep.
And it was true because we got the crib, we got him into his room, and he's been sleeping peacefully ever since. He started sleeping 8 hours at night once we got the crib and we got it into his own freaking room. I was so mad about
Did your
that
kids
because
sleep with you,
I
Jess?
gave you 10 months to do this.
No, you didn't either?
No. That's the nurse side of me. I didn't let my kids sleep with me. Like,
don't
if
get
Brooks
why it's
isn't
a
feeling
thing.
well, I don't either. And I don't know why sleeping. So I guess like the American Academy of Pediatrics says that kids should be in your room like the first year or two.
No
Brooks was in a
thanks.
room for the first month. Eleanor was in our room for the first day, and her tiny cute ass went upstairs because they're just
Yeah.
grunty and I need sleep. And yeah,
And
no,
they make a
one
ton
day.
of noise even when they're sleeping.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
they went, and I'll tell you what, they sleep so much better in the room. So I'm sorry,
Yes.
American Academy of Pediatrics, but yeah, my kids got the boot.
Oh, yeah.
There you go, guys. 3 moms all agree. Baby gets his own room. They
You
have
know
cameras
what?
and shit for a reason.
And all I
Use
have
it.
to and all I have to say is that the people that I know who didn't do what the 3 of us have done, none of their children sleep well. They never learned to sleep on their own.
I was gonna
They
say that.
always relied on their parents to get them to sleep in one way or another. And they don't have that like they don't have like
Self-soothing.
independence of
Yep.
self-soothing to go to bed in their own bed and be done with it. They don't
Well,
have
the other
that.
thing that mortifies me about it is they're like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and still sleeping in the parents' bed. Abso-fucking-lutely not.
No.
Abso-fucking-lutely not. I'm not getting kicked in the face all night. I'm sorry.
No.
I love my bed. I love my pillows. No.
That is
I love
my
sleep.
sanctuary.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not sharing that. So at 8 o'clock,
No.
8:30, that's my time. So the other night, I had freaking candy, I had chips, I had soda. I was in bed eating Cheetos out of my belly button. And all of a sudden, I hear patter, 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 patter. I'm like, that little asshole is going to come in here and say goodnight. That kid turned the corner so fast and says, Mommy goes, oh, I want one. I was like, and it dies.
You're like, sign of a gun.
Yeah, so my poor husband comes down. He's like chasing him, and he's like, sorry. I'm like, well, he's already eaten my chips. I was like, here, go to bed. Take a sun kissed or whatever the hell you want. Just go away.
Just go. Yeah,
Take
take
your
it and
fruit
go.
snack and calm down.
Here's
You're
a
better than
Cheeto.
me.
Leave.
I'd have been throwing the blankets over the snacks and been like, "Nothing's here. You can't see."
Yeah,
Go away.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'd be like the kid at fat camp trying to stuff candy wrappers under the mattress. What's that noise? I don't know. Is it a bag of
What's
Doritos?
that smell?
It's nothing good.
Your
Leave.
ignorance for not going to bed. Go to sleep.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
This
I
is
love
awesome.
this so much.
But you know what, though? Want to leave all of our listeners with the thought that motherhood is great, and it is equal parts great and awful, all at the same time, and it is a lot of struggles, and you need people there in your life to help you. The end.
Find your
Anything
tribe.
else? Yeah.
Find
There
your
you go.
tribe.
Find your tribe.
Get help when you need it.
I feel like Jess had more and we like didn't get it all, and now I'm like disappointed.
Why?
Oh,
I thought it
gosh.
was amazing. What are you talking about?
That's because
No.
I'm being greedy. And it's comfortable in here.
Oh, well, I mean, I have a baby who's going to probably wall out anytime because it's like 7 o'clock. And like
When are they not walling
7:30.
out?
Right? Are we still recording?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but here, do the outro real quick, and then we're
Okay.
gonna have Jess send us a video of her going back into the house after this episode to see what her chaos looks like.
Yes.
Well, then this is how to deal when shit gets real, and we'll see y'all next episode. We hope you enjoyed this motherhood rant of ours.